can see, I'm doing a little bit of testing. I installed here my dial indicator to check how much movement there is in the table. And by that I mean, of course, the up and down. The table, while the thing here is cutting, will be pushed forward and down. And when I take heavier cuts, like the typical roughing cuts, you can really see the table moving up and down. And that is just for normal work. Sometimes when I have to do grooving work, and if by accident I dial in a little bit too much, the cut is so big, so deep, that I really see the whole table flexing down. I started at 60 strokes a minute, and for the moment I'm running at about 30 strokes a minute. And the piece of steel I'm using is of course the typical I don't know what steel that starts rusting after some time. That's all, nothing special. What I would like to do is, just like we see on many other types of machines, is to make a table support to give it more rigidity. But of course I don't want to drill holes in my beautiful green toy here. But after a little bit of thinking, it could well be that I don't need to drill holes. Maybe drill a little bit bigger, this one and this one, but I can live with this. Of course, this machine is built in two parts. You have the foot and then the top part. And the top part is held on with these M12 bolts. I took one out and I have a very nice little piece of M12 threaded rod. So if I put this thing in here, I can put a piece of metal here on top, and of course the other side too. And here I could make two supports that I have right here. That could work. Of course, on top of this comes the rail. Now these two L irons and this rail is of course not enough. I need a support that pushes down here. And I think I have exactly what I need. It's a bit too big, but if I cut a piece off here so we can hook in here, I think that could work perfectly fine. And then of course make two studs to support here this rail. Just one thing that I have to keep in mind is that I need access to this thing here to put my hand on. This is to move the table up and down. I think I'm gonna start with these two support arms. Clean it up and drill holes and cut off what I don't need, and then making sheet up as goes, and we'll see what happens. I suppose you start to see a little bit where this is going. Right, I think it looks good, and time to tack weld a few things together. Before I finish all the welding here, maybe it's a good idea to start thinking about this thing here. I would like to bolt this one here, and then of course cut off what I don't need, and then clean up in the milling machine this top side, and this will be the rail where the foot will slide on. And because in this piece there is a hole here that I see is perfectly in line with the crank handle shaft thing here, maybe I can just bore it out, leave this piece on, bore it out and fit my little handle here through. That would be nice. And the length, exactly what I need. When I was starting cutting my workpiece here, I saw that there was a bump in my saw. And then I see that right here there's a crack. So I think I'm gonna stop working with this machine and maybe it's time to invest in a new blade. Of course, because I don't have a cutting blade for my saw, that doesn't mean that I have to stop working on this thing. What I can do in the meanwhile is of course clean up these surfaces here. This sliding surface here on top is now finished and it feels soft like silk. So I think this will be good. And now, as you can see, I finally made a special spanner for and as you can see, it even fits. $25, and I think my handle is also 25. Yep, it is. So a tiny bit more and we should be good. Yes. As you can see, the thing is now more or less assembled, and the holes for these bolts here, they were a bit too small. I wanted to have enough wiggle to be able to align this top surface in line with the movement of the table, of course. And in the beginning it didn't fit, so I had to primitively file out the holes of the back plate, and now as you can see it works and the handle is in place, and I think it's time to come on. While the paint is drying, maybe it's a good idea to start working on this block that comes here. And I think I have exactly the right piece I need for it. All I have to do is clean up all these faces here. This side is be flame cut and weld, so it will be a little bit special, but we'll see. And cut a slot right between these two holes here and over to the milling machine. All the parts are now finished, and I think it's time to put them all together on the shaper. Queen told us in one of her videos that peeling off the masking tape is very satisfying. And she's right. Absolutely right. This should be it. I will install the same workpiece and of course the same cutting tool and install all this thing here, give it a bit of oil and see if it works. Same cutting speed, same depth of cut. There's only one detail I didn't think about, and that is to install my dial indicator. There's absolutely no room nowhere, so taking measurements will be a little bit impossible. But let's start from the idea that it works. And before I end this video, maybe one more thing. Last week I made this adjustable parallels, and a lot of you commented that I should take it out of the bin. And indeed, that's what I did. Because I have maybe an idea to make a better one. But of course that will be in another video.